Continuation of the text about Can I Not Call My Birthday? Expansion with depth and new angles. 7. Your birthday as a mirror. What your relationship with this date reveals about you. Have you ever stopped to think that the way we deal with our birthday is an emotional map? It's not just about cakes or gifts, it's about how we see ourselves in the world. And when someone says I don't care about my birthday, that phrase can be the tip of an iceberg of meaning. The 3 archetypes of detachment to birthday. 1. The silent philosopher. For me, it's just another day. But behind this phrase, there is a search for meaning beyond the obvious. Sign of spiritual maturity, material detachment, or even a rebellion against social pressure. Why do I have to celebrate just because the calendar says so? Risk. It can become armor if you use this to avoid any celebration of your own existence. You ask, what are you avoiding feeling? 2. The survivor. I'd rather forget. Here, the birthday carries memories of loss, a departed loved one, a failure in the same period, a childhood trauma. Sign of self-protection. The brain associates the date with pain, so it erases the reminder. Risk. You are conditioning your happiness on the past. What if, this year, you rewrote that story? 3. The radical self-reliant. I don't need anyone to remember me. This phrase hides a wound of abandonment or, on the contrary, a wounded pride. If I have to organize it, I don't want to. Sign of extreme independence, which can be healthy, or fear of depending on others. Key question: what would happen if you allowed someone to take care of you, even for a day? The paradox: why those who don't care end up feeling, yes, you know what I'm talking about. Here's the blunt truth: no one is 100% indifferent to their own birthday. Even those who swear not to care have a small lump in their throat when the clock strikes midnight on their day. Why? Biology. Your body knows it's a milestone. The prefrontal cortex may ignore it, but the limbic system, emotions, registers. Collective unconscious. Since we were children, we learn that birthday equals rite of passage. Even if you rationally reject it, your subconscious expects something, even if it's just a congratulations on WhatsApp. Mirror effect. When you say I don't care, but keep an eye on social media to see who remembered, it's because a part of you still wants to be seen. Thought experiment. Imagine that no one, absolutely no one, remembers your birthday. Not a like, not a message. How would you feel? If the answer is relieved, you belong to the group of the truly detached. Congratulations, you are rare. If you feel a void, even if it's small, welcome to the human club. This isn't weakness, it's proof that you deserve to be celebrated, even if you don't know how to ask for it. 8. The dark side. When not calling became a prison. There is a subtle difference between choosing not to celebrate and being held hostage to that choice. How do you know if you've crossed the line? Warning signs. Heavy checkmark: you avoid any mention of the date, you even change the subject if someone asks. Heavy checkmark: he gets irritated when someone insists on congratulating him. Heavy checkmark: you feel relief when the day passes, but also a little weight in your chest that you don't know how to name. Heavy checkmark: justifies too much. I'm an adult, this is a child's thing, I have more important things to think about. If you identify with 2 or more, ask, am I not using indifference as a smokescreen to avoid facing what this date really brings me? The cost of enforced indifference. Relationships. People close to you may feel rejected, he doesn't even let us do anything for him. Self-knowledge. You miss the chance to revisit who you were and who you have become, a powerful exercise in growth. Emotional health. Repress even joy, yes, even if it's just a thank you for a congratulations. Gets tired. It's like holding your breath all day. Real story. I met a man who, at 40, had never celebrated his birthday. Not by choice, but because, at 7, his father forgot the promised cake. He decided that if he couldn't trust others, he didn't deserve to celebrate. Until, in therapy, he realized, it wasn't the cake he wanted, it was the certainty that someone cared. Today, he makes a dinner just for himself every year. It's not a party, it's an act of self-friendship. 9. How to turn I don't care into I choose to celebrate my way. If you've made it this far, it's because something about this topic resonates with you. Maybe you don't want a party, but you deserve a ritual that makes sense. Here are 7 ways to reinvent your birthday without betraying its essence. 1. Do nothing day. 4. Those who hate hustle and bustle. How? Block the day on your calendar with a commitment not to make obligations. Sleep late, eat your favorite food, watch a movie you love. Celebrate the right not to perform. 2. The letter to yourself. 4. Introverts and reflective. How? Write a letter thanking you for the battles you won in the last year. Keep it in an envelope and open it on your next birthday. It is a gift from your past to your future. 3. The symbolic gift. 4. Anyone who finds material gifts unnecessary. How? Give yourself an experience, a lesson in something you've always wanted to learn, a walk alone in a special place, or even forgiving someone, including yourself. 4. The supper of the lonely. 4. Those who don't want a party, but don't want solitude. How? Bring together people who also don't care about birthdays. You'll be surprised how many there are. Combination: pizza plus board games plus forbidden to talk about the date. 5. The reset ritual. 4. Those who see their birthday as a milestone of renewal. How? Do something that represents closing a cycle. Burn a list of things that are no longer useful, plant a tree, or simply take a day to plan the next 12 months. 6. The invisible birthday. 4. Those who really don't want attention. How? Celebrate in secret. Buy a cake just for you, light a candle, and blow it out, making a wish that only you know. Sometimes the power is in the silence of celebration. 7. The generous rebellion act. 4. Anyone who thinks their birthday is selfish. How? Make the day something for others. Visit a shelter, donate blood, or do an anonymous favor for someone. Celebrate life by giving life. Final reflection. If you don't like birthdays, you're not wrong. But if you avoid any form of celebration, ask, what would I be missing by allowing myself, even for a day, to be the protagonist of my own story? 10. The big truth no one tells you: birthday is not about you, and that's freeing. Here's the secret that will change your perspective. The problem is not celebrating or not celebrating. It's the pressure of thinking that your birthday has to be a specific way. Society teaches us that party equals love, gifts equals value, congratulations equals importance. But what if we deconstructed this? What if the birthday was simply a reminder that you survived another year, and that in itself is a victory? An excuse to do something you love, guilt-free? A checkpoint: am I happy with the direction my life is going? Instant release. When you stop seeing your birthday as a social obligation and start seeing it as a tool for self-knowledge, everything becomes lighter. 11. For those who love someone who don't care about their birthday. If you're reading this because someone you love is this type, here's a guide to not forcing it, but showing you care. White heavy checkmark: don't make surprises, unless you're sure the person likes it. For many, surprises equals loss of control equals anxiety. White heavy checkmark: ask, but without pressure, would you rather we ignore it, celebrate it? XO or do something different? Give options. White heavy checkmark: celebrate their personality. If the person hates attention, write a letter or leave a discreet gift, a book, something useful. White heavy checkmark: respect the no. If she says she doesn't want anything, believe her. But make it clear, if you change your mind, I'm here. White heavy checkmark: create a code. Some people love alternative celebrations, like dinner just the two of them a week later, without mentioning the date. Magic phrase. It's not about the day itself, it's about you knowing that I care about your existence, today and always. 12. The final invitation. What if this year you tried something new? I'm not asking you to become the person who throws a birthday party with 200 guests. I'm suggesting, what if, this year, you allowed your birthday to be whatever you want it to be? It could be nothing. It could be a special breakfast. It can be crying what needs to be cried. It can be laughing alone at silly memories. The power is in conscious choice, not automatic indifference. 13. One last story, because stories change people. I met a woman who, at 50, had never celebrated her birthday. Not out of trauma, but out of pure disinterest. Until, on a solo trip, he met a group of backpackers who, without knowing the date, sang a round of songs on the night of his birthday. She didn't tell anyone, but she cried silently hearing those voices. The following year, she bought a small cake, lit a candle, and sang happy birthday to herself. It wasn't a party. It was an act of courage, allowing yourself to take up space. 14. Your turn. What will you choose? The time has come to turn off the autopilot. This year, your birthday could be white heavy checkmark, same as always, and that's okay. White heavy checkmark, an experiment. Try one of the ideas above. White heavy checkmark, a closing ritual for something that needs to end. White heavy checkmark, an ordinary day, but now by choice, not by escape. Leave it in the comments. Do you identify with any of the archetypes? What would be your ideal way to celebrate, or not? Or, what do you think you are avoiding by ignoring this date? 15. To take with you, phrase to keep in your heart. Birthday is not about the day you were born. It's about what you did with the days that came after. And if you don't celebrate, ask, am I living a life that, deep down, I would like to celebrate? Fire if this text resonated with you. 1. Save to reread on your birthday. 2. Share with those who also have a complicated relationship with this date. 3. Comment on which part touched you the most, or if you have a story to tell. Until the next reflection. And remember, you don't need a party to be important. But you also don't need excuses to be happy. Birthday cake sparkles. 16. Birthday as a mirror. What are you avoiding? There's a powerful exercise that few do, looking at the way you deal, or don't deal, with your birthday as a map of your shadows. It's not about guilt, it's about clarity. Think, if you avoid celebrating, ask yourself, what do I fear will happen if I allow this day to be special? Fear of disappointment, of not being remembered, of having to return affection. What do I gain by ignoring this date? Control, the illusion that I don't need anything, the escape from confronting time passing. If I celebrated the way I really wanted, without rules, without other people's expectations, what would it be like? Alone in a cafe with a book, dancing until the sun comes up, writing a letter to yourself. The uncomfortable truth, often, it's not the birthday that scares us. That's what he reveals. Another year has passed and you still haven't done X. That the people you love may, or may not, remember you. That, deep down, you don't really know how to celebrate your own existence without feeling selfish or ridiculous. But here's the secret, how you treat your birthday is a rehearsal for how you treat your life. If you postpone happiness, I'll celebrate when, you probably do the same. Even with dreams. If you depend on others to make you feel special, you may be delegating your self-esteem. If you turn the day into an obligation, I have to do something, you may be living in a should instead of a want. Radical experiment for this year. Make your birthday a rite of honesty. Not about parties or gifts, but about questions that hurt and free. What am I avoiding by avoiding this day? If today was my last birthday, what would I do differently? What would I need to hear from myself to feel at peace? And if the answer is nothing, that's okay. Sometimes the greatest gift is giving yourself permission to not need one. 17. The don't care trap, or why indifference is also a choice. There is a subtle but abysmal difference between I don't care about birthdays, genuine neutrality. I say I don't care, but inside. Defense mechanism. The first is freedom. The second, disguised arrest. Think of someone who says, for me, it's just another day. But then, it hurts when no one remembers. Justifies why he doesn't celebrate, as if he needed to explain. Criticizes those who throw parties, what a silly thing. Forgets other people's birthdays, but holds a grudge if they forget yours. This is not indifference. It's a wound talking. Psychology calls this reactive disidentification, when we vehemently deny something that actually affects us deeply. It's like the child who says I'm not hungry after being ignored at dinner time. How do you know if you're in it? Take this mental test. 1. Imagine that all your friends forgot your birthday. How do you feel? If the answer is relieved, you really don't care. If it's well, I don't care either, but you feel a knot in your stomach, there is something unresolved. 2. Now imagine that someone you admire gives you an incredible surprise. Your first reaction is, cool. Emotional health. Why is this person doing this? What does he want? Deep-rooted distrust. The way out. It's not forcing yourself to celebrate. It's allowing yourself to feel. If it hurts, let it hurt, and ask, why? Relieve yourself, enjoy the lightness. If you feel angry, explore, angry at what? From who? Because deep down, a birthday isn't about the day you were born. It's about how you allow life to touch you on ordinary days and special ones. 18. The little gift you never gave yourself, and how to give it now. Here's a subversive idea. What if, this year, you took for yourself the power you delegate to others? Most people expect their birthday to be filled on the outside. May friends remember. May the family do something beautiful. May the universe make up for the difficult year. But what if, instead, you gave yourself the gift that no one else can give? I'm not talking about buying something. I'm talking about heavy checkmark permission. I allow this day to be about me without guilt. Heavy checkmark honesty. I admit what I really want, even if it's nothing. Heavy checkmark symbolic action. Doing one thing, just one, that represents self-acceptance. Real examples of people who dared. A woman who hated birthdays wrote a letter to herself at age 20 and burned what was no longer useful. A man who always forgot his own birthday bought a cake and ate it alone in the park, without telling anyone. A person who associated the date with mourning planted a tree in memory of what he lost and what could still grow. The secret. It's not the action itself. It's breaking the waiting pattern. Because when you stop waiting for the world to give you permission to be happy, you discover that you already had the key all along. 19. For those who think they don't deserve to celebrate. If you read this and think, but I didn't do anything special this year to deserve celebrating, this message is for you. First truth, you don't need to deserve to exist. A birthday is not a reward for productivity. It's a reminder that you've endured to routines, to disappointments, to yourself on bad days. That alone, is reason enough. Second truth, the idea of deserving is a trap. Think, do you demand that your friends prove that they deserve love before congratulations? Of course. So why do you do this to yourself? Third truth, the most painful if you think you don't deserve to celebrate, someone taught you that. Maybe they gave you conditional love, you're only worth it if. Maybe they ignored you on days that should have been yours. Maybe you've internalized that taking up space is selfish. But here is the silent revolution. Celebrating is not arrogance. It's repair. It's you, an adult, giving to yourself what you didn't receive. It's you saying, even if no one else sees it, I see it. Even if no one else celebrates it, I celebrate it. Because I choose to treat myself with the kindness I've always deserved. 20. The invitation, it's not to a party, it's to a personal revolution. It's time to choose your own ritual. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be grand. It just needs to be yours. Option 1. The birthday as a reset. Write a letter to yourself with one forgiving thing about yourself. One fear you will face in the next 12 months. One promise that you will make just for pleasure, no use, no justification. Burn or store. The act matters more than the paper. Option 2. Yes day. For 24 hours, say yes to everything you want, within reason. Do you want to sleep late? Yes. Do you want to eat ice cream for breakfast? Yes. Do you want to call that distant friend? Yes. Prohibited, justifying or asking permission. Option 3. The little gift of time. Give yourself 1 hour of undivided attention. No cell phone. No should. Just you and an activity that feeds your soul, painting, walking, listening to music that makes you cry. Option 4. The nothing party. Do absolutely nothing special, but by choice, not by default. The secret. Name nothing. Today I choose silence. Today I celebrate the peace of not needing to be more than I am. 21. The last question, and the most important. Before closing this text, answer mentally. If I died tomorrow, how would I like to have lived this birthday? Not the edited version for Instagram. Not the version that pleases others. The version your heart whispers when no one is looking. Now ask, what stops me from doing this? The answer is the key to the next year of your life. Fire to save, and use when needed. 1. Birthday isn't about the day you were born. It's about how you honor the person you've become and the person yet to come. 2. If you don't celebrate, it's not because you don't deserve it. It's because you haven't found a way to celebrate that's true to you. 3. The biggest party you can throw is for yourself, the party of permission. Now, it's your turn. Comment, which of these personal right options resonated most with you? Or, what have you always wanted to do for your birthday, but never dared? Share with those who need to hear that existing is reason enough. Save this text to reread when the date arrives and the guilt appears. And remember, you are not obligated to celebrate. But you also don't have to punish yourself for existing. Until the next reflection, and may your next year be full of choices that make you feel alive. Sparkles.